So, you want to start drawing your very first manga. You've got your paper and pen ready. Except you have one issue. You do not know how to start. How do you go about doing it? Simple. Just do it.
Do it! Just do it!
Get a paper and draw something. Okay, now that you have actually drawn something, let's get to the main point of this video. This video will show my own thought process and steps that I used when drawing my own manga. Disclaimer, I'm not a professional mangaka and just do it as a hobby. So the rest of the video is coming from a hobbyist, and what I will be sharing is just a general outline that I followed, which I found really useful. Also, when I refer to the term manga here, it's more of the style of comic drawn, rather than the language of the comic. Since this is the medium that I'm most exposed to and draw the most, it's what I'll be sharing about. With that out of the way, let's begin. Step 1. Start small. I recommend starting your first manga project as a one-shot, to get the experience of going through a manga from the introduction to conclusion. It can be something short like a few panels, a 4-koma, or something longer like a typical one-shot that you can find on Jump magazine. Now, you might have this whole world in your mind that you have been building for a while, which you already estimate to consist of 6 arcs, 15 volumes, and 300 chapters. But there's a reason why you haven't started on the first chapter. Because it's really difficult to start a manga series, much less properly finish it. With so many chapters, there will be so many more details that you have to iron out, such as power systems, if any, and plot devices that keep the story going, all while trying to prevent them from contradicting one another. So why not just start off with one short story that's contained by itself, that if you want to, you can continue with the following chapters of your story. It's going to be much easier to create your first manga this way. Besides, with a story having its own conclusion, the one-shot will also be a standalone project that you can show off to readers without them asking, when's the next chapter? Step 2. Brainstorming your idea. Now that you have decided to start working on your manga, you will need to actually have a story to work with. If you are somebody with a story in mind already, that's great. If not, you can find an author to write the story for you while you do the illustrations. Or you might just want to grab an existing novel or story and adapt it into a manga. For all legal purposes, this is for personal use only. But, if you have yet to come up with a story, here's a basic outline of writing a story from start to finish. The setting or exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. You do not need to feel pressured to come up with something so new and unique nobody has ever seen. Well, you can, but no pressure. It's your first manga project after all. The following details are some of what you can brainstorm at this step. World settings, character designs, character interactions, the main conflict, and how it will be resolved. I like to write these details down first, but you can always sketch small thumbnails if that helps you visualize the details better. You can do whatever suits you. Now that you have the details sketched or written out, let's move on to the next step. Step 3. Storyboarding. For me, I draft the panels out in a manga layout like a scene from Bakuman. My tip for this stage is to just fill up the pages with panels and ensure the details allow the story to flow smoothly between panels. You can start off with something very simple. Then, try and see how you can change up the details to make them more interesting to the readers. I'm not too great at explaining this part, so I'll be using an example, once again from Bakuman. From the manga volumes of the Bakuman series, we have some samples of how the pages went from drafts to the final product. See how Oba's drafts start out, where he just captures character expressions and the thoughts and dialogues between them. Filling in the text is important, as it gives you an estimation of how much space will be taken up by the text. Next, moving on to Obata's drafts. You can see he took the liberty to spread out the original draft spread to 2 spreads, adding in different angles and revising the expressions to be more comical and impactful. For this step, do not be afraid to keep on revising your storyboard, be it to improve the flow of the story or arranging the text and details to ensure they are easily digestible. Step 4. Actually drawing the pages. You can't keep revising your storyboard forever. You won't go past step 3 in that case. Now is the time to move on to the next step, which is to start drawing your manga pages. Usually, there will be a sketch onto the page themselves first, before the actual inking. There's many things to talk about for this step. I'm once again not proficient or confident enough to give tips on them, so I will just be showing some examples from my manga pages again, on how I try to implement the techniques. They include whether you can get character anatomy right, being well versed in the various perspectives, shading and effect lines, etc. The list can go on, and if you feel stuck due to your lack of skills, try to take the slow route and learn about them. It can be a tough process, which I myself am still learning, but it's very rewarding when you can put your skills to use when creating your manga pages. Here are some pages of my projects from the draft to actual page. And with that, that's what I've got to share for the steps on how to create your first manga project. And hopefully you are able to complete your first manga too. Congratulations, you managed to see through a manga project from beginning to end. Share it with the world out there. It's easy to just upload them onto websites like Webtoon or Manga Creator Plus and get your work seen on the internet. You might feel that it's the best manga out there, or you might feel like it's crap. But the most important thing is you had fun and learned something. For me, the grind to get out the details definitely makes me doubt whether I want to finish the projects or not every time. But finishing the last detail on the last page is always rewarding. I hope this video helped as a rough guideline on how to start your first manga project. And if it did, do drop a like. Comment down below if you have something to share regarding this video, or if there's anything else you want me to share in future videos. Keep the passion and interest alive, and have fun drawing. Peace.